Hello, everybody. Is this thing on? Are we working? Are we live? Can you all see us? Can you all hear us? Hopefully you can. Otherwise, it's going to be a bit awkward, isn't it? Oh, stop it. Stop it. Stop it, Crispy. Stop it.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to a special episode of Ahsoka.
Oh, so that's coming, but not just yet. You seem to be... Why are you, like, so high up on the camera?
Hi. Why am I so high up?
I don't know. Have you adjusted your camera at all recently, good man? I can fix it. I can fix it. All I have to do is just bring you up here. And then...
Bring me up.
Buttercup.
Johnny.
Oh, okay, that too. There we go. See, look at that. You've been fixed. Isn't that lovely? You've been fixed. Let me get the live chat up on my OBS so I can see it. There we go.
I can have a look-see.
We are indeed live. There we go. We are live.
Hello.
People can hear us. They can see us. We'll wait a moment. Let
everyone.
people filter in. Let people filter in.
Come on in.
Yeah.
It's going to be a fun one.
It is. It's
talking
gonna be a
about
great time.
Sontarans and walks.
Sontarans? Sontarans?
Yeah.
Not Zontarans.
No, not the Zontarans, as they're rightfully called.
I'm so proud of you for you've grown as a person and developed.
No, now I just have to emphasize the S all the time.
It was never an S, brother. It was never an S. It was a Z. I don't know what you were doing.
Zondarans. Zondarans.
Sounds like a country they made up. What was it? What was the country they made up? Temezistan.
What?
In Series 10, they made up that country where the pyramid landed.
Where in the I don't know. I can't remember.
Temezistan,
sure
I think it was called.
That was the same place in the Zygon eps, right?
Probably, yeah, actually, yeah. That poor country was really getting a hammering from like aliens, weren't they?
Oh my word! Yeah.
Nearly as bad as the UK.
Things.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah.
It's weird how like in a British show all the aliens tend to show up in the UK, isn't it?
It's very, very odd.
Should get that scene, Tim.
But one time in Australia.
That's true.
With those things in Spyfall.
Oh, he makes a point there. How's life, Crispy? You alright?
Ongoing. Yours?
Same.
That's good.
Glad we cleared that one up. Alright, cool. Let's hit the record button. That should have been our intro.
Yeah.
Damn.
That's alright.
Oh.
I've got an intro.
You got an intro?
Yeah.
Oh, go on.
Let me just make sure I got the soundboard before we...
Do you want to retake that?
Too crazy. Hang on. No. I'm just... Oh, we're not going yet.
I thought you said you had the intro. I was gonna make this our intro.
I'm just making sure that the soundboard works before we... Yeah, beautiful.
Oh, I was going to get all funky then.
No, Troy. Funky later.
Also, I wonder if anyone watching is going to recognise this top that I'm wearing. Obviously, I know it's Pale Waves. I don't mean from that sense, but like where I wore this last on the podcast.
Where?
Oh, where was it? Do you remember?
Episode 16.
No, it wasn't actually an episode of the podcast.
It was a special episode of The Last of Us.
It wasn't actually a special episode.
It was an apology.
We got to do lots of those. No, it was the Christmas trailer. When they put the trailer out last Christmas, and I had no voice and you were asleep, and I did the live stream. I was wearing this because I got it for Christmas, or I got it around Christmas time. Nice little Pale Waves Polaroid hoodie. It's got all the band members on it. It's very old. I mean, you can tell that from Heather's hair. She's not had hair like that. She's not had hair like that for.
She's not had hair.
She's not had hair like that. I can't speak.
No, sir.
Can't speak. So, all I need is to put out new music, and then I'll have another hyperfixation that isn't Sonic Frontiers right now, or Star Wars.
Yeah. Shout out to Wazza in the chat because they have just said it's their first time actually being here for a live episode. So thank you.
Welcome.
Appreciate that.
Welcome
to the fun. We have fun here.
We do.
We do crazy things.
We have joy. We have fun. We may even have seasons in the sun.
I know this teeth.
I know this bum. Okay.
What?
Oh.
What?
What? Come on. What? Very cool. Stop it. We're live. Can't be saying naughty things. He said quiet. He said quiet, everyone, like the Sea Devil did.
Quiet.
I love John saying they recognise the book. You recognise this book? Really? Where have you seen it? Said to be crispy, it'd be really funny if I put it in the background, so it's just vibing. You know?
Marvel's best film. All right, here we go.
I know you don't. Yeah, I know you don't believe that.
Oh, God.
Special episode, Loki, coming up in like 6 weeks. If you're,
I'm actually keen for that.
I'm so keen for that. Well, have you seen the reviews? Some people have seen the first 4 of the 6 episodes, which is a weird amount to have shown people, but People seem very positive.
Strange amount. They seem pretty confident with it.
I'm
Suspiciously confident.
Well, maybe they
Anyway.
cooked.
Maybe they did.
Maybe they did.
I know a man who did, though. His name's Russell the Tease Davis.
Oh, do you know who's doing the intro this week?
Me.
Okay, cool. Do you want to do the intro gag this week as well while you're at it?
I'm doing the intro gag.
All right, he's the intro man this week, folks. This is all part of the intro. So what are we doing? What's our intro gag?
Okay. Troy, I'm going to ask you a question.
Okay.
Troy, I've forgotten what we're doing.
Well, we're doing a live episode, Mr. Crispy. There's people watching you right now.
But I have a big old question, Troy.
Okay. What's the question?
What's the Flux?
Is this really what it's come to?
What is it?
This is really what it's come to. Just quoting the same thing we've made jokes about for the last 20 weeks.
What's the Flux?
What's the Flux?
What is it?
It's the
I've
hurricane.
never seen it before.
It's the hurricane, Crispy. It's the
I
hurricane.
thought you said donkey. What's the Flux, donkey?
Donkey! The Flux has layers! Roll the intro.
Oh, dear.
What the hell was that, man? What the hell was that?
I'm going to use that all the time now. What's the Flux, donkey? Oh, dear.
Woo-wee! Woo-wee!
Trick or treat.
Oh, look at you with your tiny little shorts on. You're hot and sweaty, and I'm cold and shivery.
Well, it is a bit hot here, actually.
It's a bit hot in Australia. Have you had to punch any spiders today?
No, well, actually, I should show you a photo of.
Oh no! Oh no!
Downstairs, we found a spider in the shower. It was huge.
Oh dear! Oh dear! I'm scared. I'm scared, folks. I'm scared.
Anyway, I can get on with the intro if you want. But
Yeah, let's see the spider first, then we'll get into. Yeah, for the record, everyone, we are. I had to have an electrician round to fix a tech problem with my setup. It's all good, but it basically meant that it screwed up our plans. We were going to record our special episode for Ahsoka before we went live, but now we're doing it afterwards. So we need to make sure Crispy is not awake for centuries on end. So we're going to try and get prompt in with this live episode. Have you got the picture?
Century.
Oh, you sent it.
Yeah,
Oh, I thought you were going to show it
yeah.
on the camera. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Good grief! Dude's got like a white eye, like Davros or something. What's going on?
I don't know if you can show it on the screen.
I'm gonna. Oh no! If I turn my phone brightness down, it should come through. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, there you go. Look at that.
What
that was
the
in
hell?
my bathroom.
Insanity, insanity. That is very
Yeah,
big. That's very big.
Scary times.
Oh, honestly. Right. Okay. I'm just flicking away some notifications. Oh, look at this. People looking at my tweet about Sonic Frontiers. Oh, nobody's done that, but I don't care. I'm still gonna talk about Sonic if I can, wherever chance I get. You know. It's certainly not new frontiers for our discussions, is it, Crispy?
No.
See what I
it's
did there?
Old ground.
Yeah,
in
it's old
fact.
ground. It's the same frontiers, but hey, it was a new update. It was very good. It's very good. It made me
Oh, that's
cry.
good.
It made me cry.
Made you quiet?
Made me cry. What is wrong with
All right,
us?
let me do this.
You're older than me, and we're both as bad as each other. Let's do it.
I know.
So, we
I
are going to be
know.
looking back on Series 13, folks, in case you haven't read the title, in which case, maybe get your eyes looked at. I don't know. I don't know. Look at the green screen. You need to turn the chroma key off, Crispy.
I don't know how.
You just go, isn't it on OBS? You just go in OBS and go on the filters and then click the eye on the chroma key and it gets rid of it.
That was about 3 too many instructions for me. Let's get on with it.
All right. So we're going to talk about Series 13. We're also going to go through some news, go through a poll. It's going to be a fun time. It's going to be a fun time.
I'm so excited. I am
Well,
so excited.
Can you just not hide it?
Oh, I know.
Whatever the words are. Yep.
I don't know. Yeah, okay, here we go.
I wrote your name down. All right, let's go. He literally, when we just one more thing for you folks. When we joined the call this morning, for me, Chris was just playing one of my singing videos out over the mic that he'd like auto-tuned, which it's actually quite rude suggesting that I need auto-tune, but we're not going to get into that because I don't want to fall out with it. No, it was just funny because you were listening to that and I was like, for goodness sake, he hasn't even said hello and there's just me singing in the background. I want to see what happens if you put full production on one of those. I want to hear it properly.
Like, what do you mean? If I actually tried to mix a song?
Yeah, I want to hear it.
Well, David Tennant is my dad. Taylor's version coming soon.
Oh, it needs to be Chris. I need you. You need to call it David Tennant is my dad. Crispy's version. I really need you to call it that.
Yeah,
I
right,
need you to
we
call it
can
that.
do
All right, let's do it. You ready?
All right.
Let's do it. I'm like Homer Simpson with a chainsaw. Let's do this.
I can't with you.
I know you were waiting for me to say something, so I was like, let's just say something simple, get it out of the system. Let's go. According to all known laws of Doctor Who, there is no way that a TARDIS should be able to fly.
Sorry, no, we're professional. It was just my birthday. I'm a year older. I'm a year wiser.
I'm going to ask you about it when we start the episode, buddy. Come on.
Hello and welcome back to Who's There, a Doctor Who podcast, the show where two Who-tubers talk about the best show in all of time and space, Doctor Who. I'm your host, Crispy Pro, and joining me, as always, is Troy, Red Archer, the Live. How are you, mate?
The Live.
You are the Live.
I am
was trying to
the
do,
Live.
Like the Davies, you know.
Well, we are the
As we
Live
do
right
with
now.
Russell.
Look, I mean, I'm sonicking the camera because now we're live. I don't know. I picked up the Sonic. I was trying to pick something up Doctor Who related while you were talking, and then I knocked over some stuff on my desk. So we're off to a cracking start.
We are off to the races right now.
We are off to the races.
But you know what? We're gonna pick up a lot of Doctor Who stuff today because we're picking up a series, and that series is 13. And
Well, we know it's the 13th Doctor, but which one is it?
Which one is what?
Which series is it? You said it was 13. I know it's one of
Oh
13
my-
series. Sorry.
Oh my
Sorry, that
word!
was terrible.
You're getting me. I think this might be the only time, apart from Hartnell, where we had the first series with the first Doctor, you know, and then we got the 13th series with the 13th Doctor.
I know, it's such a shame we
Think
don't have
about
the 14th series with the 14th Doctor, but we will have the 15th with the 15th.
Yeah, we almost got it with 14, didn't we?
Yeah, we almost got it with 14.
Just
Yeah.
David Tennant had to be my dad.
Oh, he had to be your dad, honestly. Disgraceful. Disgraceful. How you doing, man? It was your birthday a couple of days ago, was it not?
My birthday. I am now 37 years of age.
I
which
thought
is
you were
very,
42.
Very exciting. We don't tell that publicly.
Yeah, but
on
you're
the
a big Chris
platform,
Chibnall
Troy.
fan. This is a very meaningful year to you now.
It is, and that will be the only episode that I watch this year. So unfortunately, I will not partake in the 60th because I am sticking to 42 for now.
Bro.
Thank you very much. But yeah, I'm a year older and wiser and more powerful. What about you?
More
How are you?
powerful. Gee whiz.
Yeah.
Someone, the alien soldier in the chat just said that you're 74.
Oh my. Do I look like that?
You're looking good for 74, I'll tell you that much. Looking very
Moisturiser,
youthful.
mate.
Yeah, that's a lot of moisturizer. It's
a lot of
Cassandra levels of moisturizer.
Yeah,
Good grief.
yeah.
Good grief. I'm good, thank you, man. But well, hang on. No, we're not dancing away from your birthday just yet. What did you get up to?
Yeah.
What happened?
I went to work and took headshots of everyone in the team for their portfolios. And I went and got burgers that night and walked around the city. So it was pretty good.
Sounds like quite a chill birthday. As long as you enjoy it.
It was
that's what
very,
matters.
very chill.
Okay.
And then on the weekend, we had the family dinner and then I had some drinks with my housemates. But it's a very, very, very tame year this year, which I'm fine with because, I'm 42 years old.
How old are you actually now? You're 27?
I'm 26.
26.
No, not 27.
For some reason, I thought you were 26, and I was like, no, he's 1 year. Okay, he's walked off. I thought he was 26, folks. I thought there were 2 years between us. Oh, that's where I've got confused. I knew there were 2 years between us, but I forget I've turned 24 and he hadn't turned 26. That's where, right, I'll tell him when he comes back now and he finishes his little sulk. He's coming back. Here we go. Where? I've worked it out. I remembered there were 2 years between us, but I turned 24 and you hadn't yet turned 26.
12.
That's why I was getting
Yeah,
confused.
correct.
So you were 25, I was 24. That's where I see. There was logic. I wasn't just saying you're an old ass man. I just couldn't remember the
Troy.
logic.
You know what you need to do?
Yep.
Apologize.
Nah, I'm good. Just turns the music off. Oh, not in the live episode, mate. Not in the live. That's going to be in the same audio track as your mic. Oh, no. Oh, no.
That's all right.
The levelator is going to loathe you for that one. It's going to loathe you.
Levelator got a level.
Level up, buddy. But yeah, sounds like you had a good birthday. I'm very, very glad to hear it.
Yeah, no, it was fine. It was fine, man.
Good.
It was all good.
I hope you had
So
one
I'm
hell of a
happy to be
party.
here. It was fine. I danced a little bit, which was good.
Oh,
I had some chippies at the pub. It's pretty good.
that's very
Pretty
good.
Good vibes.
It's very, very cool. You had some. So did you have fish and chips? Was Mike there when you had fish and chips?
No, I didn't have fish and chips with Mike.
Oh.
He makes the sonic screwdrivers in Doctor Who. No, he wasn't there, unfortunately.
Mike from Fish and
But I'm
Chips.
hoping I'm praying for 27 he'll rock up.
I really hope, like, at some point we can get in contact with him, have him on the podcast, and just call him Mike from Fish and Chips.
And explain why.
I don't even remember why it's that now. I don't remember why we said that.
I can't. We'll have to rewatch
it. But yeah, so you had a birthday. I was at a party last weekend as well.
What party were you at?
Well, it's actually relevant. It's not just me freaking out about Sonic Frontiers, which, believe me, I am fighting every fibre of my being to not do right now, because the final update came out and it was absolutely amazing. We'll leave it there before I go on a tangent.
The final update?
Final update, yeah. Gave a proper definitive ending to the game. Bro's just happy I won't talk about the game again.
No, I'm kidding.
Hey, look, if we're still doing this podcast in a few years when Frontiers 2 comes out, then you'll get it all over again.
Maybe we could make that like a deadline for the podcast.
We have to end Who's There before Frontiers 2 comes
It'll be a looming thing for you before the podcast has to end.
Oh, I hope not. I want to do this with you for another 30 years, mate, you know?
30 years?
Yeah, it'll be like, I'm taking my kids out to school, but we'll record the podcast after that, you know?
Now, the goal is for us to get bought by the BBC and we can never say anything bad about the show.
Sounds good. We never say anything bad anyway, do we? Am I right, BBC marketing team? Anyway, so, Sorry. It's old news now. Marketing's much better, which we'll get into in a minute because we've got lots of news. But yeah, no, I just thought it'd be funny to share for the audience that I was in attendance at DW 2012's little birthday bash at the weekend. DW 2012.
DW 2012?
Well, they are the YouTube channel that does a whole bunch of Doctor Who fan films. I know they're not the only one. There's loads of people out there that do Doctor Who fan films, but not just because I'm friends with the people who run it, but that is by far the best, highest quality, like most professional Doctor Who fan film series I have ever seen.
Oh yeah, they go all out.
Amazing. They were celebrating them wrapping their 5th series, and it also being 10 years of their YouTube channel, even though it's 2012 and not 2013. I asked them about that because I was like, how does that work? Explain it. Like they actually probably started in 2013. It was just they were trying to get a fitting name for the channel that wasn't already taken. But no, it was a lovely time. Luke and Meg, who both run it, Luke who was originally the Little Red Doctor, the Doctor going through the first 4 series, and Meg being the current still companion, with their new Doctor, the Purple Doctor. Both of them are lovely people. I was very grateful for an invite. I had a great little time. And if you want to see some pictures and videos, you can see them on my Twitter, Red Archer Live, and Instagram, Red Archer Live. There's one of Jack, you may know as Nerd Den, doing Baby on karaoke, and it was an interesting one. It was funny because he kept going baby, 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 oh, like he did really deep O's, and it was for some reason that just made me laugh so much. But it was a beautiful weekend, so thank you, Luke and Meg. It would be cool if we could get them on the podcast at some point, you know.
See if we can make the stars align.
Yeah, well, you know, maybe we're already making those stars align, and our audience just we're live. This is live. Sorry.
We're live. We can't say anything.
Crispy, I think it's time for our weekly feature.
Which one?
You know the one.
It is poll time.
It certainly is, and with it being live, I can do this. Oh, look at that!
Whoa!
We've changed screens.
Oh my gosh!
It's our poll screen because that means I don't have to edit. Very epic, and you can still see "Looking Out for the Little Guy" by Scott Lang in the corner of my camera. I haven't read a book in a very long time, so if the first one I read is a Marvel book, that is going to be so funny.
You should read The Rider's Tale by Russell T.
I really should. That actually is a shout. I should do that. It's
the most interesting thing.
Crispy, last week.
Yeah, mate.
Do you know? I asked the audience. Do you remember? Have you seen it?
I don't remember. Is it related to this?
It might be.
Is it Jodie related?
It is.
Okay.
We're playing Guess Who. We're playing Guess Who now.
Tell me.
Does this poll have hair? No.
Is it like best Flux episode or something?
No. It is which of Jodie's series is your favourite? Because we normally do that the week after we finish, but I thought, you know what, let's include it in this one. Because it's a momentous occasion. It's the final series in our Looking Back On series.
I can't believe it. I can't believe
We're still doing the specials, don't worry. That is still part of our plan, and it will be sooner than you might think, because Crispy and I have planned out up to like episode 86 of the podcast this morning.
We're cooking.
We are cooking, believe
We're
us.
Cooking.
And for everything to work, I think you'll probably be seeing the Looking Back on 2022 specials this month. A little bit earlier than planned, but trust me, it'll all make sense when you see it all come out in order.
Woohoo.
It'll be cool. But this is the last full series, so we thought, let's ask our audience which Jodie series is their favourite. So before I show you the votes, the results, Crispy, which one do you think came out on top? Any order? Anything?
Flux.
You think Flux on top?
Yeah. On both polls, has to be.
Okay. Any other order beyond that, or you just want to see what we got?
I think Series 11, unfortunately, will be the bottom.
So you think it's going to be a case of getting better as she goes along?
Correct.
Look at Mr. Crispy Pro. He knows how to predict a trend. Ladies and gentlemen, on YouTube, out of 544 votes, very cool, thank you.
Oh my gosh.
Series 11 pulled 15%, Series 12 pulled 25%, while Flux pulled 60%. And it's a relatively similar trend on audio platforms. For 32 votes, 9% said Series 11, 25% said Series 12, and 66%, order 66 you might say, said Flux.
Oh no.
Well, I have to mention Star Wars because it's a funny, tiny funny little thing. For those watching live right now, the Ahsoka episode is not out. For those of you listening on audio platforms after the fact, the Ahsoka episode is out.
Is already out, so wibbly wobbly.
Yeah, as soon as we're finished the live episode, we're going to record it, and it'll come out before the audio version. It's, wibbly wobbly, timey wimey. I can't wait to talk about Ahsoka with you, Chris. But you've got a lot of stuff to say there. But I'm not surprised by that result. If anything, I did think it might be closer between 12 and 13.
Same.
But I'm surprised 13 has as much of a lead. But I like that result. I like it.
No, I'm very happy with that result, and I feel like Series 13 was just a ridiculous amount of fun. I'm glad that people still resonate with it. At least our audience do.
Yes, I agree.
That's good.
I agree.
It's good for me.
Crispy, we have got 3 different... Well, we've got one bit of news that I haven't got a picture for, purely because I didn't want to put a picture of it on the screen, because we're starting to get to that point where I don't want to spoil everything happening on set. But do you want to do a little ding anyway, and I'll just say this bit quick? So, if you do want to go and seek it out, because as I've said, and I kind of was talking about this with Luke and Meg as well, it was quite funny, we were kind of giving our opinions about how much we're seeing from the filming. There is currently filming photos in existence, or there are currently, English is my strong suit, photos of Shooty on set doing some what looks like Christmas filming in a kilt.
It looks very good.
So he's got another
very
outfit, Crispy, another outfit. Bro has got more outfits than episodes at this point.
I'm telling you, I don't know if Shooty's going to have a distinctive look.
I hope he does.
I think Shooty's thing will be each week it's a different outfit, but much like Peter Capaldi's like red velvet
coat,
outfit,
yeah.
There will be a favorite Shooty outfit that I think they might be like, oh, let's give that one another chance, and that will be the definitive one. But I feel like Series 14, every episode is going to have a different costume. I'm calling it now. Mark the date, 5th of October, 2023. Thank you.
Okay. There you go. Well, we're going to move on. No, there's been a few bits of the film. There was a very funny bit of him walking down a street, and a policeman came up to him and immediately turned around and walked away like he didn't want to talk to the policeman. That was quite funny. Clearly, it was a bit of trauma because he doesn't want to think about Yasmin Khan. PC Yasmin Khan. Yas to her friends, Well, he's lost a dear love, He's lost a dear love.
A dear love?
He's just thinking about the ice cream.
He's just lost Donna as well,
Did you know, Crispy, where he was filming?
Yeah.
Because this was a point of contention. Well, not contention, but a point of gossip.
I don't know.
He was filming on the exact same set with the exact same building that blew up in the first episode, Rose. Not kidding. He's literally on that set. The same building's there. So people are beginning to wonder if there's some kind of time meddling thing, and this is to do with the Christmas special, and it's feeling the after effects of the 60th. If the 14th Doctor is like a toy maker, like induced thing, and there's other timey-wimey stuff going on, why the heck would the 15th Doctor, in his first rough episode, be outside the building from the very first episode of Russell's original run? There's got to be some kind of poetry there, right?
So wait, which building? Are you talking about Henrik's?
The shop that Rose worked in that blew up, and he was like, go on and have the lovely beans on toast.
Yeah, right.
So
I
intriguing.
Get the feeling that it might just be the same street used for filming.
Could be.
Much like, well, I mean, they filmed Knock Knock at the same house that they filmed Blink, and a lot of people are like, oh my gosh.
But he is wearing a black leather jacket in the outfit with the kilt.
What does that mean? Oh.
Eccleston's wearing a black leather jacket. I don't think it's the
Say
exact same
less.
jacket, but there's some similarities going on here,
Maybe
As George
something
Lucas
is
once
going on.
said, it's like poetry, they rhyme.
So what they're filming now is pick-up stuff for this year's Christmas special.
And it's evidenced by the fact that I saw footage on Instagram this morning of Shooty poking his head out of the eye of an inflatable snowman's head.
Yeah, that's
So,
cool.
I don't think I said that right. But yeah, there was like an giant inflatable snowman head. He was inside, and he poked an eye out, shoved his head out. It might have been for like a promo thing rather than an episode. I don't know. But yeah, so. If people in the chat are saying they think it's just coincidence that they're at Henrik's, but I don't know. I don't know. Look, it might be the first episode of Russell's first proper new Doctor. It would make sense for it to align with the original episode of his first ever Doctor from his first run. There's poetry there. There's poetry there, folks. People say there's reused locations. Look, we know. We did an episode
We
about
know.
reused
We're
locations.
just theorizing, guys.
But
We're
you know
just
what?
theorizing.
I am a dreamer. I'm a dreamer with a Sonic. I'm going to Sonic Crispy. Watch this, everyone. I can do this on the podcast. Crispy, react. Okay, that looked wrong. That looked horrific. I did not like what you did there. Did not like that. Did not like that. But yeah, so we're not going to show any pictures. Point being, if you want to go and look it up, do a bit of Googling. Shooty killed Doctor Who. You'll find it. But we're not. I think from now on, unless there's something big, I don't think we should share photos because I want to keep the surprise for people.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
But we've got 3 news things, so we've got to hurry up, Crispy. Give us a ding. Pick a number between 1 and 3, and you can introduce whatever this is. Number 1. Okay. What's going on here, Crispy?
Oh my goodness, would you believe after all these years Doctor Who are doing another tweet-along type thing?
I know.
I'm not sure what the exact date is. On the 4th of November 2023, they will be doing the hashtag Dr. Donathon, where they will be watching the entirety of Series 4, I believe, in a day. Yeah, wow. Starting at 9:45 a.m. UK time, and we want fans all over the world to join in. So use the hashtag Dr. Donathon on X or Twitter or whatever the heck you want to call it.
Call it X,
but I
or
think
I will Sonic you. Come here.
I think wasn't there a thing where people could register for this, Troy? Like there was something where people could. I don't know what that.
Well,
what
that
all
was
about.
slightly separate. That was a competition you could enter to see the 60 episodes in a cinema.
What?
They haven't confirmed a full-on
that.
a full-on cinema screening for the 60th, but underneath there was a competition where you could enter. I think it's in London, the cinema screening. I don't know if it's all 3 episodes or just one of them. I don't remember. I just saw 60th cinema, clicked it, entered. I honestly didn't even read it that much. I was like, I want to enter that giveaway.
So
I'm straight in.
entered. Oh, interesting.
Oh yeah, I've entered. I think my mum's entered as well. I did send her the link, so she better have it done. So who knows?
It's
we'll
not
see.
going to be on the 4th of November. It'll be something else.
Yeah, so but we need to mention that we do think TV Zone has theorised this, and it does line up with potential TV slots because they put out a predicted schedule for November, and it does line up with their theory. I mean, they might have shaped everything around it, but whatever. It looks like it makes sense. Because this watch along is happening on Saturday the 4th of November, the hot topic right now is that the episodes will then air every Saturday afterwards. So on the 11th, 18th, and 25th of November, respectively. Which would make sense because it means the 60th will finish as close to the 60th special as they could while still being in a weekend.
I'm feeling it. I think
so
we're
am I.
on the money there.
And we've planned our whole podcast around it, so it better be right. We'll move things
be
along
right.
if need be, but we've planned it. We should know the dates in the next week or two. I would have thought anyway, because we're coming into that region.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, we said that last time when the trailer came out, and it didn't happen. So who knows? Maybe we're just being crazy. Maybe we're on, as the kids say, maybe we're just on a good load of copium.
Copium.
Copium. Again, for our listeners that don't understand trends, that's when you're trying to find any possible reason to explain something that's already decided. Well, it was just clear that weren't going to get the dates, but we were on copium thinking that they were going to be there when they clearly weren't. So there you go. There's internet memes with Troy. That's your weekly lesson. Hope you all enjoyed.
Yeah.
Hope you all enjoyed. Crispy, do the ding. Please explain what's going on here, so I can add the image for the third thing in that I forgot to add in, Crispy.
Oh my gosh. So, as you can see here on the screen for everyone watching, we have not only Russell T Davies, but we have Chris Chibnall and Stephen Moffat. I'm not quite sure who the lady is there in that photo.
I think it's not Zoe Ball. What's her name? I'm going to look it up.
Anyway, these legends reunited for a special 60th concert that I'm not sure if any of our listeners were able to attend, but I think they broadcast it on radio, or they are going to broadcast it on radio. It was just
Joe
a
Wiley.
really nice thing. Joe Wiley, there we go. But I just think it was really, really nice that we got a photo with all 3 main new showrunners of Doctor Who. That's just unreal.
Yeah, it's
that
really
is my
cool.
entire childhood and adulthood right there.
Yep.
These 3 absolute goats.
It's amazing. It's amazing. And yes, so the concert is going to be played out live on BBC Radio 2 on October 15th at 8 p.m. UK time.
Okay, not
so
too far
Sunday.
away.
So it's a Sunday. Joe Wiley's a massive Doctor Who fan, and actually she, I believe, was the person who interviewed Peter Capaldi on the radio when he announced live in his radio interview he was leaving Doctor Who after Series 10.
I remember that.
So that was her. And I think it was also her who chatted to Eccleston about him leaving. She bounces up a lot with Doctor Who people. She really is a massive fan. She said that in when she was asked about it. But they did debut the new the new series' theme tune.
Ooh.
They debuted the 15th Doctor's theme.
Ooh.
And they debuted Ruby Sunday's theme. All at the concert.
I'm so excited.
I'm surprised
I
that loads of uploads of it
so-
haven't come up on YouTube. Last I checked, I haven't seen any.
Yeah.
So
No, some people were trying to make fake stuff on Twitter, but I don't think it's actually leaked, which is surprising.
no, it's kind of crazy. But yeah, it'll be it's the article from Yahoo Sport. What? Why is this on Yahoo Sport? This is the thing I brought up. Says the performance includes classic tracks like The Impossible Girl, This Is Gallifrey, and I Am the Doctor, to name just 3. Joe Wiley, on the subject of it being broadcast on Radio 2, said, "As listeners to my Radio 2 show know, I'm a huge Doctor Who fan, so presenting this concert is a dream come true. How better to mark the incredible 60th of the show than this wonderful celebration of music that has featured across the decades." So there you go.
Nice.
Concert on the 15th
Nice.
of October, Radio 2. It's already happened live. Did you see the edit someone made of Russell with Chris Chibnall and Stephen Moffat, but they put an extra Russell at the end of the picture?
Yeah,
It was like the
yeah,
showrunners of
R2D2.
Doctor. Yeah, it's good.
That's pretty cute. That's
Should have just
pretty
actually been R2D2 next to them. That would have been great.
Yeah.
Would have been really funny. We should do that for a funny meme. All right, Crispy, give me one more ding dong.
I will ding that dog.
We were talking about this for a long time, over a year now. Was this going to happen? Were we going to see it? Is it going to happen? Is it real? You know, is this real life? I'm building up to it for excitement because we all saw this coming. But ladies and gentlemen, Doctor Who Confidential is back under a new name, Doctor Who Unleashed. What an absolutely thrilling and exciting moment in Doctor Who history, because we definitely didn't see this one
shocked.
coming, did we? We didn't see it
No,
coming.
we-
I did have the
it
tweet
wasn't-
up, but I seem to have lost it, so I'm just bringing it back now. But ladies and gentlemen, yes, Doctor Who Unleashed is going to be a new behind-the-scenes show. Here's the tweet. Here we go. Get ready for a brand new Access Hilarious show when Doctor Who Unleashed, hosted by Stephen Powell, lands on BBC Three and BBC iPlayer in the UK this November. And it says you can visit the website to find out more information. I'm opening very quickly because I swear I read somewhere it was 30 minutes each. Yes, Doctor Who Unleashed is a new 30-minute factual entertainment series produced by Bright Branch for BBC Studios for BBC Three and iPlayer. Host Stephen Powell, known for being the BBC's gaming correspondent, as he played Sonic Frontiers, and being the former Radio 1 news presenter, has been given the keys to the TARDIS, and after every episode of Doctor Who, viewers can switch over to BBC Three or iPlayer as Stephen takes viewers on a journey showing them just how this out-of-world drama is made. Wow, okay, wording. But yeah, with exclusive interviews with the stars in front of the camera, as well as those behind it, Unleashed is the ultimate companion to Doctor Who.
It's
So there you
very
go.
exciting.
Yeah.
I just find it crazy that we knew the name of this, like, back when they were filming the 60th.
Yeah, how did we hear that, actually?
Why?
Was it on a clipboard or
I
something?
I reckon, yeah, someone would have seen something being like, oh, yeah. It would have had to have been on a clipboard or something, on a call sheet, being like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's Doctor Who Unleashed.
Or
But,
maybe it
I
was
mean,
just a Sonic
hey.
fan, because they played Sonic Unleashed and went, we should have Doctor Who Unleashed.
Stop talking.
It's just funny
about
to make it a running
Sonic
joke. It's just funny to make it a running
5
joke.
minutes.
For 5 minutes! What? Shrek and Sonic
What's
this
the
week.
Flux donkey?
Let me have a drink, Crispy. Just say something funny.
I'm just glad that Doctor Who behind the scenes is coming back. I feel like that was such an important part of a lot of, especially my generation's childhood, especially people that wanted to get into more of the creative industries. Like, that show definitely inspired me to get more involved in filmmaking and stuff. So I hope that this can inspire a new generation. But my question is, you guys are getting it on iPlayer. Where am I getting it in Australia? What's happening there?
Good question.
Am I getting it on Disney?
Are you-
Am I getting
are
it
you
on
prompting
Disney
this
Plus?
as
Am
a-
I getting it
let's
on
see.
YouTube? Is it going to YouTube? I don't know. I don't think anything's been said about worldwide distribution. It looks like it just says BBC iPlayer.
That's a really
Which
good
is
point.
annoying.
I mean, I don't really
And I
think
just-
about anyone outside of my own room because no one else is important. But let me see. Sorry,
pretty
that
important,
Was,
Troy.
what was sarcasm?
You're pretty important.
I think. Oh, thank you. I think maybe is it outside the realm of possibility to assume it would come to Disney Plus?
Yeah.
I was thinking, like, because I mean, Marvel gets the assembled documentary of Disney Plus. Disney Plus is not against having documentaries on their content on the platform, so I would have.
Yeah. That's not a new thing.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's not outside the realm of possibility for it to be on Disney Plus, but I don't know. Hopefully, I mean, they're not going to put it on YouTube because then what's the point of putting it on BBC Three and iPlayer?
Exactly. That's what I'm thinking.
So, I'm going to say maybe Disney Plus. Someone, Mateo in the chat saying if it's not available in America, it's VPN time. Ooh,
I think, yeah,
it might be.
I will have to get a VPN if we can't find any.
a lot of abbreviations. VPN, BBCI for DWU, starring DT, who IYD.
Troy's my BFF.
David Tennant, who is your dad, in case you hadn't clocked that.
Is my DA. D.
Is your DAD? Yes. This bit is going on for too long. So shall we move on to our main discussion, Crispy?
Yeah, mate.
Oh
yeah.
Alright. We are talking about the final series of Jodie Whittaker. Which is a crazy thing to say, because I still don't think I've quite... even though Jodie's been gone for about a year now, still feels weird to say.
Like it, eh?
Especially considering this series started nearly 2 years ago.
And it's still our latest series.
Yeah, it started on
And
Halloween!
will be
Trick or
for quite
treat!
some time. Trick or treat?
Trick or treat!
Halloween.
That's the best line in
Trick-or-treat?
Flux, by the way. Halloween, trick or treat. It's so funny because Yaz says it, and then,
so
then
awkward.
13 just turns around almost like a vine boom, just like, what did you
Yeah.
say?
Trick or treat? Hang on. Did you say Vine Boom?
Oh yeah, hang on.
on,
Let
we'll
me
do
do it.
it,
Hang on.
we'll do it.
October 31st, Halloween, trick or treat. The way she turns around is so funny. Oh my
Oh, it
goodness.
is pretty funny.
Oh, shout out to Ivy, the main protagonist, who featured on our Gallifrey 1 episode a little while ago. She is in the chat.
Oh, wow.
Nice to see you here, Ivy. Welcome,
Hello.
welcome.
Oh, I love doing live episodes.
Yeah, it's great. It's nice to have people show up because it means that they actually do care about us. It's not just business.
And if they're new here, hey, why don't you,
Don't forget to click below to subscribe to the official Doctor
who's their YouTube channel?
I didn't know you'd added that as a sound.
I only just added it.
Just play it out in full in case someone hasn't heard it because I laughed over it.
Don't forget to click below to subscribe to the official Doctor
Who's their YouTube channel?
You should just play it out in full, man. I want to hear him say YouTube
Who
channel.
YouTube channel.
There we go. Oh, those sultry
YouTube
Scottish
channel.
tones. We need to pull out somewhere in a documentary where he said there or there, because we got who. So if you can hear him say it's there, so something being
there?
like someone who's there or is there, he's there, something like that. We could pull that out. We could pull that out and make it.
We'll find something, yeah.
Because we're not going to use AI, are we, Crispy? We're not the Secret Invasion intro.
I would never
Good.
use AI.
Good. So, Crispy.
Unless it's enhancing thumbnail pictures.
Excuse me, what did you just say?
Only to upscale my thumbnail picture. It's an upscaler.
Oh dear.
It's an upscaler.
Oh dear.
Oh,
He's
no.
using AI. Crispy's the real enemy now. He's the
I would
real
like to
enemy now.
apologize to everyone for using AI for a thumbnail. I apologize.
Don't forget to click below to subscribe to the official
Oh,
Doctor
Ivy's just
Who
said she should be working on an
YouTube
essay. What's the essay on? We'll give you something to write in it.
Yeah, we'll give you some pointers.
Yeah, we'll give you some pointers. So, Crispy, the important question for today's episode:
Yeah, mate.
what is the Flux?
What's the Flux? Donkey.
What's the Flux? Stop making it a Shrek reference. What's the Flux?
The Flux is the 13th series in the revival of the hit BBC British sci-fi show Doctor Who, starring Jodie Whittaker, Mandip Gill, and not Tosin Cole. So it's
Woo!
pretty exciting.
What? Sorry, no. That was way too excited. Sorry.
It's
Sorry.
rough.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Namaste. Namaste ain't here any
What
longer than I have to, though, Crispy. I'm gonna tell you that.
What, as we do at the start of all of these, as we do at the start of all of these, what do you give Flux out of 10?
This is tough because Flux is not a perfect series of Doctor Who.
No, is it?
However, it is one of my personal favourites, regardless.
Third favorite, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, as you know, my three favourite series are roughly in this order: 4, 10, and 13. I love those 3 seasons, and then probably series 3 and 5 right after that, because those 2 also beautiful.
They're pretty good.
But I don't. Ooh, it's hard because, as we'll get into, there are issues I have with Flux, but for the whole series, I think for what it did, especially with it being within the pandemic, with them managing to do a 6-episode story across a whole season for the first time in modern Doctor Who. There was a lot there that it has going for it that I think, at least to some extent, it did fairly well. And it also has John Bishop, which I know sounds like a joke, but to me, he was so good that he does raise the bar for me.
Absolute. Oh,
Every time I walk past the sign of Liverpool that says the Pierhead, I always think of you now, Crispy.
Yeah.
Like, I took a picture of
it.
a building that was in Liverpool by the seaside at one point on Instagram, like 2 weeks ago, and I was right next to the Pierhead sign, and I was going to put that on my Instagram story as well, but I was like, no, that's a little joke for myself. Little funny joke for myself. So, if I was to give it a score out of 10, based on all of that, especially the Pierhead thing, that's very important, I would give it somewhere between an 8 and a 9. For my own personal enjoyment,
Wow.
probably an 8 if we're talking about actual strength of the season, because there are some parts that don't work as well. I'm getting pings on my watch about people liking your story that you put up on Instagram, Crispy, of us doing the dance to
Oh, that's
the
good.
song. Someone liked our story.
I'm glad people did.
Yeah, I'm going to say an 8 for now, and I might go for a 9 later, depending on what you say. So, Crispy, what would you give it?
I think comfortably, I'm going to give it an 8. I think we've had this discussion a million times before, but if they nailed the finale, we're reaching like up above an 8 to 9 to 10 territory. I had so much fun with Flux, it's actually ridiculous. Because I feel like for series 11 and 12, like that in the fandom especially, that was a rough time to be a content creator because people were just being rude. I'm glad that doesn't happen anymore. Kidding.
Don't use sweater and you'll be fine.
Yeah, exactly. Stay off it. That's my main advice. But when Series 13 came around, the excitement in the fandom, I really, really enjoyed that. And I feel like the stories really delivered. I mean, War of the Sontarans, not Zontarans, Sontarans.
Woo!
I think may very well be one of Chiba's best things. I rewatched it recently with my housemate, and I think it holds up ridiculously well.
Mm-hmm.
And as you were saying before, the fact that they were able to make this in a pandemic and give us some Doctor Who content in a time when it really looked like we weren't going to get any Doctor Who content, I couldn't be more grateful. And I don't know, it came at a time in my life when I really need some Doctor Who, so I've got a soft spot for it.
Yeah.
Amen to that.
Then
Amen
not
to that.
long after that, we were doing a podcast.
And then Troy hit me up, and I was like, "Oh, for
Was
fuck's sake!"
Was it around Flux when I asked
yeah,
you about it again?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because as we know, I've asked him a few times.
Yeah,
but-
it was my birthday.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
2021. So I don't know what's the Flux air date. When did Halloween? Yeah,
Halloween,
it was
trick or
just
treat.
Just before.
I'm currently looking back through our messages for the word podcast. I made a mistake because I forget that every time you link me to a Riverside room, it has the word podcast in it.
Podcast.
Oh, it's lost track
Podcast.
beyond 25th February. I'm trying to think of what I might have said to you at the time.
When we started up, I can't remember.
I wonder if the word birthday would come up. Because you might be like, oh, you've asked me on my birthday. I wonder if you said that. Let's see. No,
know.
I said it sent you happy birthday last year, but damn it.
That's all right. We can find it for another day. But
No,
I just
I
remember
want to find it now.
You called me at the right time, and I was like, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's
But
go.
I'm still looking.
And
now.
now we're
still looking now.
almost 80 episodes deep.
Isn't it crazy to think? I can't find it yet. Whatever.
It's-
Because I remember I was doing my last teacher placement when Flux was out. I remember that. And that was, I remember like around the time I was listening back to our episode of the Redcast, and I was like, I need to get this guy on.
And here we are.
And here we are.
You've had me on too many times.
Way too
in
many
fact.
times, yeah. 79
Way
times.
too
I've had
many
enough.
times.
I've had enough.
I've had.
Well,
I've
more
had
like
enough.
90. How many special episodes are we up to?
I don't know, 5 probably.
No, it's like 8 or 9 now, mate.
What? No, it's
It
not.
is. It is. I'm going to
You
check
tell
this up.
fibs.
I am loading up Spotify purely to find out this answer. No, I'm not listening to Taylor Swift right now. Go away. There we go.
Did you watch the latest season of Sex Education? Have you ever seen Sex Education?
I've seen the first episode of Sex Education. I've heard that people don't like the
my
new
word.
season of Sex Education as much.
It wasn't as good, but I mean, every time Shooty was on screen, I was like,
that's
I
good.
am so excited.
We are
for Shooty.
8 special episodes deep, so Ahsoka's number 9. We haven't done one since
No
July.
way.
Yeah, we did 2 special episodes back to back. I remember Barbie and Secret Invasion.
Yeah.
So-
Gosh, what a time.
What a time. What a time to be alive. What a time to be a Who's There fan when we weren't talking about Doctor Who. Crazy.
Crazy.
Anyway, so where do we even... The Flux is such a difficult one because of it all being one big overall story, so I
There's
don't really
a
know
lot
where to
going
focus. Yeah.
Okay, well, let's focus on the whole main premise of the Flux first and foremost. Do you like
Okay.
the idea of this universe-ending threat connecting these stories together?
Yes.
So do I. I think it's very, very clever that they did that. I
Mm-hmm.
was like, oh, cool. But I don't think it gets resolved very well, but we'll get there.
No, it doesn't, but...
Halloween Apocalypse, what were your first impressions of that episode?
I think it was a really good opener. I think the problem is it gets a lot of criticism because like there were a lot of threads opened and it was a bit of a jumbled toy box of ideas. But I think that's the problem when you've got a story that's going to be 6 episodes long. There's a lot of things you're going to want to set up and then answer different questions at different times. Why is there a weeping angel there? You don't find out till episode 4. You know, like there are different things. What's going on with Di? Why does she get kidnapped by Swarm and Azure? You don't find that out till like 2, 3 episodes. I don't remember. I don't remember what happens in what episodes. What's going on with Vinda? He just shows up and then he gets more explanation later down the line. Like it's all about planting the seeds in that episode. And contrary to common opinion, I don't know if it's common opinion, but I think it's a really good opener. I like it was a cliffhanger of them being in the TARDIS hanging out with the Flux coming in, and I was like, oh, this is it. Doctor is back, baby. This is the stuff I wanted. I wanted big, exciting cliffhangers. Little did I know episode 4 would blow that one out the water. But like it felt like we were just like hitting the ground running immediately, and I loved that. Thought it was a really strong opener.
I think I really enjoyed the pace of the Halloween Apocalypse, and of course, shout out Jamie Magnus Stone, who directs 3 of these episodes.
Oh, Crispy's best friend.
The GOAT, my bestie. But I honestly think it's surprisingly just well done given the restrictions of the pandemic.
Yeah.
Like, I was shocked that they were able to do something of this scale. I mean, yeah, it gets a lot of criticism for over-reliance on green screen and stuff, but even then there was a lot of practical shooting, especially in the Halloween Apocalypse.
You know what, I literally I don't pay any attention now to people who criticize green screen. I can't be bothered with it. I can't be bothered. I said to you, the breaking point for me was when people were like, oh, that shot of Flash in Spider-Man No Way Home, oh, it was green screen behind him, it wasn't a real New York building. Who cares? Like, realistically, who cares? I get it. Some people spot this stuff a bit easier than others, but some of these shots are on screen for so little of a period of time that it, like, really, unless you're freezing it and doing like a new Rockstars of like, I watched this film at 0.25 speed and here's what I found. You're not going to see it long enough for it to really bother you. Or maybe I'm just not fazed by stuff as much as other people. I don't know. But
I don't know. I just think it's a real testament that they were able to do that and do it as well as they did. But yeah, I remember that cliffhanger being like, wow, okay, here we go. We're cooking. Chibnall's cooking. Because I think Chibnall works better in long form. Dare I say, I would have liked to have seen series 11 and 12 in long form.
Need to remind you, Broadchurch. So that just proves the point.
Exactly. Have you seen all of Broadchurch? No, you haven't?
Thank you for filling the air there. I was having a drink. I was very thirsty. I've only seen the first series. Don't know why I haven't watched 2 and 3.
Well, I don't think 2 or 3 are as good, but I think they're pretty darn strong. I mean, I could watch David Tennant and Olivia Colman all day, every day.
Yeah.
I think that's absolute. Whoever was the casting director on Broadchurch deserves the highest of pay rises. But yeah, I think Chibnall is in his stride when he's writing long form stuff. So that was great. And then it carried over into War of the Sontarans, which I think has some of the best location filming for Doctor Who. That battle scene, oh my word.
And the Sontarans look the best they ever have.
They look so fantastic. And I remember when they were filming Flux, when they were filming that episode, like that kind of got leaked and a lot of people were like, oh God, I don't know how I feel about that. But they look so good on camera. They look insanely good. And what's that line where he's about the horse? He just wants to ride a horse or something?
The Crimea was like a perfect point for us to like begin our attack. And also, I wanted to ride a horse. Like, it's just...
I mean, this show is so crazy. Like,
that scene between Jodie and the captain was so good. And it was just like, take your hat off, mate. Oh, on second thoughts, put it back on. Like, she's just... Oh.
It's fun. It's fun. And I think Jodie, I feel like is... like very comfortable in the role here. Like it's Jodie's Doctor. She's kind of owning it.
I've just realised I have the figurine of him on my desk. It's a bit dusty, so I'm trying not to show the base.
Can you put him up to the camera and deliver the lines, but hiding your face, Troy?
Okay. And also, I wanted to ride a horse. There you go. Oh, Crispy has cut out. Unless it's my internet, which hopefully it's not. My internet appears to be holding, so that's good. As long as it's not... Okay, you're there. Okay, good. As long as your internet dies, it's not a problem, because if mine dies, we lose the stream. So don't...
We're off.
We're okay. We're okay. And this stays in the audio version, don't worry.
Thank you
there is an Eagle Moss figure of Strax on... It's not Strax. Is it Scar? I think it's Scar. I think. Of him on a horse. Of him on a horse.
Okay.
You can get that for like 30 quid, but I didn't buy it. because I didn't want to spend 30 quid on that. You can get Jodie as a Weeping Angel, which we'll get to for 30 quid, which I was going to get, but it's just a bit.
Ooh.
It's because the Eagle Moss went bankrupt, and the company who got hold of them were like, these are rare pieces. We're going to sell them for lots of money. So
Yeah, right.
they tried to originally like release like groups of 4 unreleased ones as bundles for like 100 quid. And every time they were like, we're not going to split them up. And then because no one was buying the groups, they then split them up and started selling them individually. Because who's going to pay 100 quid for 4 little figurines? These things are tiny.
I like how you keep up with that. I had no idea about any of that.
No, they did. They've done a few for Flux. They did statues for Vinda. Statues is pushing it. They did figurines for Vinda, for Swarm, for Azure, for Scar on a horseback, and Jodie Weeping Angel. I've got a couple of Flux ones. The only Flux ones that I've got are Scar, which you've seen, and then also Carvanista.
Oh, look at him.
They did have a Dan one planned of him holding a wok, but that one never made it to production before Eagle Moss went bankrupt. So only the kind of the models, like the online 3D print models were leaked, and it was literally him with a wok in his hand, which would have been so good.
That would have been great. That would have been great. Dan, let's talk about Dan for a second.
Let's talk about Dan, and also we can't talk about Dan without talking about Evil Dan, because I think that also helps.
Oh my, that was some of the funniest time to be a Doctor Who fan online.
Yeah, it's still a sticker in my Discord server.
Yeah,
I still have an Evil Dan little picture in my server. It's so good. So if you happen to not know what Evil Dan was, if you happen to not know, from literally his first appearance in Doctor Who, Doctor Who Poop is the channel, isn't it? Made a video called Evil Dan, and it was basically twisting his lines. Like, YouTube poops are a common online thing where you take an existing piece of media, you twist the words around to say something funny. It might be a sex joke, it might be just reversing them saying sorry because he goes sauce. Apparently that's like a really funny joke for some reason, I don't know why. Okay. All sorts of daft stuff like that. But the best time is when they rearrange words. Like, for me, one of my favourite ones is one of Star Wars Episode 3, where Obi-Wan, instead of saying, my allegiance is to the Republic, to democracy, he goes, Anakin, my allegiance is to the pub and to your mum! Like, stuff like that is so stupid. It's so stupid. But they did this for Dan. He's just having a laughing fit now. They did this for Dan in Episode 1 of Flux. And, lines about soup and all this. And they twisted it to be like, instead of, who likes soup? He goes, nobody needs soup more than me. And he's like, instead of him giving soup out, he's taking it back off kids. And instead of what's the point of being alive, it isn't to make others happy. He's like, what's the point of being alive? Or what's the point of being alive isn't to make others die. Like, they're basically just changing it completely to be an evil person. Funny. With the Master's theme playing in the background, the Chibnall Master. And, it's... Just look up Evil Dan, and it will be a rabbit hole you will dive into.
I'm pretty sure John Bishop heard about Evil Dan.
I think he did.
Evil Dan, and saw he acknowledged it, which I think is great, and that's such a unique little bit of fandom.
I know. That could happen. I know there was one thing involving Dan he was aware of that we didn't want him to be aware of.
We won't talk about that. They brought that up on a TV show. You can look it up in your own time. Anyway,
just search. Oh, how do we word this?
Carvanista and Dan.
Carvanista Dan John Bishop fan art. That will say all you need to know. Don't do it if you're under the age of 18, 16, 18, under the age of 18. This has
been a Who's There
Yeah, this has been a special message.
Thank you.
But yeah, so that meme really made me like him even more, because it was, I'd never seen a Doctor Who character become an internet joke that fast, but in the best way.
Straight away.
It was so good. But his character generally, John Bishop, for me, I've explained this a bit before, but I knew about him going into it. I mean, he's a Scouse comedian for one thing, so it'd be disgraceful if I didn't know. But he used to have a program in the UK that ran for a couple of series called John Bishop's Britain. And he'd talk about, different stereotypes, different people from different, parts of the country. He'd tell his own stories from, traveling around the UK, that kind of thing. I've looked back at old episodes. It's not the most amazing thing. He gets, actors to, act out scenes and he dubs over them with him doing the stand-up. It's so strange. It's so weird. But, as a kid, I remember loving that show. And, I want to see him live. I've never seen him live, and I really want to see him on stage, because he was doing a stage show around the time of Flux, and I think Doctor Who was part of his set. So, irritatingly, I never saw that. But you can literally listen to his stand-up on Spotify. I noticed this. He's got a Spotify page, and there's, a couple of his stand-up tours are albums, and they just split up into songs as if it's, an actual music album.
Cool.
But they play through, a full stand-up gig. It's really well done. So when he was announced, when Revolution of the Daleks it was, at the end of that.
At the end of it.
John Bishop as a companion. Yeah. I was going, what? A Scouse companion? What?
And what's his occupation?
He's a plasterer.
Oh, I'm
It's
glad that came in.
So
handy
funny
in the
because
whole
he was like, he went on BBC Breakfast and he was like, so all I can say is my name's Dan and I'm a plasterer from Liverpool, and the plasterer thing is never mentioned or even shown in Flux, which is just so funny to me.
I find that weird.
Yeah.
Because in his little promo video, when
He's
they
he's
announced
putting his
casting,
plastering stuff in the van. Yeah.
he's doing stuff. That's the only time.
Honestly.
they film something with him doing that, which is strange. Which is
And Volk Smash in the chat saying, "Have you seen John when he was on Graham Norton?" Saying that BBC got upset with him when he said Dan was from Liverpool before they announced it, and he was like, "Where did you think he'd be from?" I mean, he's not exactly got the most natural accent. He doesn't sound like I do, despite being near Liverpool. He's got a full-on Scouse accent. He can't. He can't be like he's from Manchester. Like he's not. He's clearly not.
I think his accent is very, very cool. But there is one line in Power of the Doctor that I have no idea what he says.
Okay.
No idea what he says.
Where?
It's
When?
like it's on the train scene.
Yeah.
Right at the start, and it's like it's obviously they've recorded it later or something, and it just sounds like and I have no idea what he says. No, I'll bring it up later when we look back at the specials. But I'm just leaving that idea for you now.
Well, it'll be handy when we do our Power of the Doctor episode watch along this month. What?
Shh, don't tell the fans.
Well, I'm just saying, anyone who's subscribed to our Patreon, middle tier, the $10 tier, you will be very excited to know that coming this month, our watch along episode is the Power of the Doctor. So get excited. Seems appropriate. Seems appropriate.
Does seem appropriate, doesn't it?
There you go. But yeah, I think personally that, like, as an addition of a companion, like, one of the things that a lot of people really wanted was for it to just be Jodie and Mandip in Series 13. Yeah. And I agreed with that. I was like, you know what? There were too many companions in Series 11 and 12. Just keep it as those two. Because I was intrigued to see what they'd do. But I think Dan being added, I mean, not only did he serve as a great catalyst for the whole Phasmin thing, which makes his character worthwhile from the beginning for a lot of people.
Exactly.
Like, it was really good to get an outsider who hadn't seen them before to walk in and go, you two are clearly a thing. What's going on? Say something to each other. Like, that was brilliant. Like, I loved that because that was something that I don't think Ryan or Graham could have said. Like, I don't think in the same way. I don't think they would have clocked it as easily. So it's like someone who's like from the outside coming into it with no ties to any of the people and being like, you two are not up. Something's going on. I'm just saying, like kind of like trying to hint at it. But he was in enough scenes to make him worthwhile, but also wasn't in some other key scenes that still allowed like 13 and Yaz's story to advance in key places like the hologram and things like that. Yeah, and like even then coming in to talk to her about that, like I think they added him in to a good enough extent where he was worthwhile being there, but also didn't take too much light away from 13 and Yaz. I think his balance was accomplished.
That's a really good way of putting it, Troy. I was trying to figure out why I enjoyed Dan being there because very much like yourself. I was like, it should have just been the like Yaz and Doctor show when they like announced that John was going to be the companion. I was like, oh, do we need this?
Yeah, but that was a very common thing online. Everyone was like, oh, they can't just have it be two women. There's got to be a man in there, and it's like.
No, I think it was very much a welcome addition.
Yeah.
Very much a welcome addition.
Yeah.
Happy with that.
I wouldn't mind an all-female TARDIS team at some point, though.
I'm sure we'll get one day.
Yeah, one day.
Ivy
popped in the chat, said, Dan said these oblivious lesbians will be canon. And they were. And they were. And it was glorious.
And they absolutely were.
Like Loki, they found their glorious purpose. It was to not kiss in Power of the Doctor.
Exactly. I'm going to ask a question to the chat right now.
Oh, okay. Involving the live chat.
Would you guys in the chat be interested in ranking your Flux episodes from 1 to 6? Pretty please. Thank you. Best at the top, worst at the bottom. I just want to see what people think is the best, and we can chat about that.
Okay, and while they do that, we have to give special mention. I think we're going to focus on the even number episodes at the minute, but Village of the Angels. I mean, we've gushed over this before, so that, like, I don't know how much we need to say, but Maxine Alston, next Doctor Who showrunner, seems like a safe bet to me.
Happily have them on. No worries.
If we're talking about we need a female showrunner to mix it up a little bit, which, would be nice to get a different perspective after Russell's left. I think just from her writing 2 episodes, like, I feel like she is capable enough to do something amazing there if she'd want to.
No, I think it's a very, very strong story. And when they announced that they were going to bring back the Weeping Angels for Jodie's era, I was like, ooh, what are they going to do? And I was really happy. I was really happy with how it went. But yeah, I just think. What do you think of the rest of the series?
Well, because you also have
After
to
that.
remember on the Weeping Angel standpoint, the common audience consensus, I didn't quite feel it, obviously, but the common audience consensus was that going from Blink to Time of Angels to Angels Take Manhattan, like the Weeping Angel story quality was going downhill to like the general audience. I never believed that personally, but like that was a very general trend. So I don't know. I don't actually realize because I wasn't really, I don't think, in tune that much with Doctor Who Twitter at that point. But I'm wondering what the internet's reaction was to, oh, Jodie's going to face the Weeping Angels. It'd be like, again, I feel like would be a thing. Like how are they going to do this without it being a bit contrived now? Like they're using the monsters too much kind of thing. Like I wonder if that was a very keen opinion at the time. People are starting to put their rankings in the chat. Very, very cool. So I think that they executed it really well and created a really interesting Weeping Angel episode, and it ended with one of the best cliffhangers in all of Doctor Who.
It looks great when Jodie turns into a Weeping Angel. The Doctor
Spoilers.
turning into a Weeping Angel is just sorry guys for 2 years ago.
One of my favorite
it's
cliffhangers.
iconic.
It's like Spyfall
so
Part
cool.
1, where I was like, I haven't seen a cliffhanger this good in a long time. And it's like, that was, like, I remember being on the edge of my seat and not wanting to wait the week. It was like even more, like I said, even more intense than Halloween Apocalypse. I was like, oh, what's going on?
Yeah.
And people said afterwards that the cliffhanger wasn't paid off well. Like, that, it's not really one that could be paid off better than how it was. The whole point was she was being transported. She wasn't going to stay as a Weeping Angel. That was the whole idea.
Yeah.
It was more just the transformation that was the shock value.
No, I think I was like, oh, that's all they're gonna do. But then I remember, like, even back in Moffat's day when they had the empty child cliffhanger.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, and then the Doctor's like, what does he say? So like, shush or something.
It's a very go to your room. It's a very
go to your room.
It's a traditional thing for Doctor Who for the actual cliffhanger to be very shocking and then it to be resolved like that.
Rather quickly to get on with the episode
because they have to get on with the story. So that's nothing new.
But it's still cool. Still cool regardless.
Yeah, and I think it was very, very well executed. And visually, visual effects in
great.
Flux, as we've said, like with the green screen stuff, like I think visual effects were on another level in a lot of Flux. And even like the
I think they were
prosthetics,
great.
Swarm and Azure, their face makeup, they looked astonishing.
Shout out to I was very, very impressed with the practical stuff they did. And they were quite intimidating villains. I don't think they paid off fully in the end, unfortunately. But I honestly think that they were so like campy and iconic. Like, you know, it's just like it's something you'd see. I feel like, you know, they're almost like something you'd see in like 2005 Doctor Who. Like, don't you feel like they could be like a villain from back then?
Very much
Am I crazy
so.
for saying that?
Yeah.
I think I really enjoyed their performances. Absolutely.
Someone in the chat said, "Oh, Volk Smasher. I can't tell if I'm stupid or not, but I did not see the twist with Peggy coming. Maxine really threaded that well. So that being that the little pet girl Peggy and the old woman were the same person.
With the same person.
I think I might have predicted it a tiny bit ahead of time.
I think I twigged it.
Yeah. It wasn't not quite as early as my mum being like, "That's John Sim" at the start of World Enough in Time.
No.
But like, I think I clocked it at some point. That whole episode is just so phenomenally done. The Weeping Angels, I feel like, were really threatening, and also answer the question of what happens if a Weeping Angel touches you twice.
Yep.
Because we never saw that happen. Was it necessarily a question that needed answering? Probably not. But it was still a cool one to say. Seeing someone crumble down into stone and dust was quite a visually very, very cool thing. Very cool idea. And I like that like Yaz and Dan being sent back in time was like a problem that then persisted through like 2 episodes. Like, I really like that.
Yeah. No, well, that's the glorious thing about the 6-part structure of this story is that there can be consequences, and what's his name? Jericho could stay on for those episodes.
Kevin McNally.
I love that, and like, they just pick up people and leave them off in different episodes.
Yeah,
I thought that was cool. And then it all comes together at the end.
Yeah, everyone popping up and coming back. I think everyone was used really well, except for one. There is one character that I really wish had just been in episode 3 and just not showed up again because he was needless.
Oh, Vinder? Who?
The Grand Serpent. What the hell? What the hell was Chibnall thinking?
Unfortunate, because I like the aesthetic of it.
Yeah, as a villain, the snake killing people. Oof.
I thought that was cool. I thought his performance was great. I like the setup that they had with his story with Vinder.
Yep.
But as you like, I think it should have more served Vinder's storyline rather than Flux as a whole.
Yeah,
I think you're very much.
It was
the
like
right track
really
there.
Swarm and Azure to me were intimidating enough villains. I mean, you bring in
Absolutely.
Sontarans and Weeping Angels, and then you really have got chaos. But to me, when he came up on screen in episode 5, I was like, oh, it's the guy from 2 weeks ago. Wait, what? He's involved with the Flux? It felt like, to me, it screamed like Chibnall had created an interesting guy in episode 3 and thought, oh, let's find a way to include him so he can be part of the Flux. Like, it was an afterthought. That's how it screams to me. And it's a shame, because like you said, Craig Parkinson plays him brilliantly. I've got nothing against him. His performance is great. Very intimidating villain. And it also has a very good scene between him and Kate, where she's like, I can call in a favour from someone you don't want to mess with. Like, there's some really good stuff there. But I don't feel as though... if you take him out of episodes 5 and 6, I think the story would flow better.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't think he needs to be there at all. I think Swarman as you're taking more of his roles would be great. Because, their whole idea of, time being this being that's locked up, and that's why time is in, like, a constant flow. It's always, like, going in one direction. If time was let out, then everything would run wild. It's a very campy sci-fi idea. Like, we don't really know what it would look like if time was let loose. What would all different things be happening at the same time, like in Wedding River Song? I don't know. I haven't got a clue. But, like, their idea of wanting to basically create chaos, you could have focused in more on that, I feel like. Because I felt you had too many villains with too many intentions by the final episode.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about the final episode?
So, I still like The Vanquishers. I still think it's a decent finale. I don't think it's the best finale in Doctor Who, far from it. But I think it ties up a lot of the threads. It deals with the villains fairly well. But, again, the presence of things like the Grand Serpent did not make it easy to begin with. It gave it a bit too much to deal with. It's a bit like Ahsoka's finale, which we'll get to in special episode 9. Ooh. Tune in tomorrow if you're on YouTube, and yesterday if you're on audio platforms.
Tune in yesterday.
Tune in yesterday. I don't... Ooh, Sheld Kyle says better than the Series 3 finale. Respectfully disagree with that one.
Wow.
Yeah, no. Much as I love Flux.
Hang on.
Looking for some hot
Bro was cooking. Why are my elbows always so red on this desk? You see that?
Because you're Red Elbow Live.
Red Elbow Live, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. What are you thinking?
I think Vanquishers is probably one of the weaker episodes of the series, but not bad. Like, I know everyone dunks on Once Upon a Time, the 3rd episode, where it was all like they were all seeing their flashbacks and filling in
adore that
backstory.
Episode.
That was a good episode. I liked that for filling in
things. I'm just gonna say that felt very like something Moffat would write.
Yeah, it didn't advance the story too much, but it filled in information that you needed to know.
It was more a character thing. Just gave people backstory.
And it gave us more with the Fugitive Doctor, which, I mean...
It's never a bad thing.
She was still completely wasted, and it upsets me in a lot of ways that the one chance we were going to see a proper face down between Fugitive Doctor and a Fugitive Doctor villain, being Swarman as York, because they were originally Fugitive Doctor villains, is the idea, was robbed because it kept bouncing between Fugitive and Jodie. And don't get me wrong, I really liked that idea. I love that aesthetic that, because they were trying to process their memories in current time, they were seeing more recent faces over the people who were actually there. Like, that idea, I like. But because the Fugitive Doctor had so little screen time as it was, her big scene against Swarman as you're being robbed and kind of swapped between Joe and Jodie constantly, I don't know if I love. Because I really want to see Joe Martin actually get to chew up the scenery properly beyond like a couple of 2-minute scenes, and she never really got that chance, which did feel like a waste.
It's a shame. No, you're absolutely right. I think they could have swapped it where they would like see Jodie in the mirror instead of Joe Martin's Doctor.
Yeah.
And just had...
And been like, what am I watching here? And it's like, shut up, you'll see. And then it's just all Joe Martin.
Yeah, done.
Yeah.
Done. But
that would have been so good! That would have been so much better!
I think that probably it would have made it like one of your favorite episodes, probably.
Yeah,
if they really gave it like a Joe Martin Doctor episode.
Yeah, like it's not even like Future Doctor is one of my favorites or something. Like, I mean, I didn't see enough of it to be able to make a judgment. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like I'm going, Joe Martin is like the best Doctor. She's not. I mean, we've not seen any enough to make that judgment. If you think that, fair enough. But like, I would like to see more of her so I could make some kind of judgment on acting performance. Because all you really need as a Doctor is a couple of defining scenes, and you can make a good judgment as to who's better. But Jo never really got much of a chance there. She was it felt like she was an afterthought. She was there as a plot device, and then they were trying to fit her in afterwards, and I think she definitely could have been used better, for sure. I mean, of the 4 times that she shows up in Doctor Who, only one of them is her actually being there in present moment.
Yeah.
One is in Jodie's mind, one is a hologram, and one is a flashback that bounces between her and Jodie. Like, after we see the Fugitive Doctor in Fugitive of Judoon, we never see the actual Doctor again. That's it.
That's it.
Which, if you haven't realised that until now, I'm very sorry for blowing your mind and disappointing you, but that's where we stand with that. So, sad. But yeah, so tying everything into the finale, I think the villains. Someone in the chat has just said, John said that they needed a more satisfying ending for Swarm and Azure. I think they were dealt with fairly well. They were imprisoned in the same way that Time was. That's poetic. Whatever.
What happened? Didn't they just burst?
The idea was that they were imprisoned in the same way that Time was, because Time was all locked up as like a, you know, as an entity. And the idea was, you failed me, so screw it, you can join me. So they did.
I've only seen The Vanquishers twice.
I think I've only seen it fully once, so... Maybe twice. I haven't rewatched Flux, despite how much I love it. I need to rewatch the full series. I've started rewatching it a couple of times, but never finished it.
It's annoying because I'm in this rewatch with my housemate Gabby, and I know we're leading to the finale, and I know that I personally don't enjoy the finale as much. So I don't know. That's a weird feeling. But
see how you feel when you get back there.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to be too much of a negative Nancy, but the one major flaw I think Flux had that they could have so easily avoided. It's not even in the script. It's in the edit room. They've made a mistake.
Oh, what?
In the Next Time trailer, after Village of the Angels, they spoil that Kate's in there. They kept that secret so well that Kate Stewart was back in Doctor Who. And then they spoiled it in the Next Time. What? I think... And Survivors of the Flux, I don't think, is quite as strong an episode. It's fun. It's
also,
whatever.
For the sake of the joke, the same BBC that had to go at John Bishop for saying Dan was a scouse. Just dropping that Kate Stewart was in an episode when it had been kept under wraps. Oh.
Exactly. I was shocked by that because it had been quite some time since Kate was in the show, because she hadn't been in the Jodie's era at all. It was back in Pete's era, I think, was her last time, right? What was her last episode? I can't remember.
The Zygons?
Yeah, it might have been the Zygons. Yeah, it probably was. So that's quite some time, from 2015 to 2021. And now it looks like she's getting her own spin-off show. But
it was Zygons. My brain was just racing, trying to work it out. Yeah.
Well, that was like a shocking thing for me, being like, oh my god, Kate's back. And they filmed it mainly indoors for her. No one knew that it wasn't leaked, and they just chucked it in the Next Time trailer. I don't know.
Very silly.
Like, I can understand why they did that with John Sim, because that's a big character and like a big draw.
I think it was going to leak, wasn't it?
Yeah, I don't know. But with Kate, I just feel like they should have kept that under wraps. That's just my personal nitpick. That's just my.
It's not a personal nitpick. It's a valid nitpick.
Yeah.
Very silly.
Yeah,
very silly.
That's my 2 cents. Thank you.
But yeah, like I said, I think Swarm and Azure were tied up fairly well. I really liked the parallel between Jodie and Time against the Ood and 10th Doctor, where it's like, your song is ending soon. And saying that to Jodie, I was like, that had me. I was like, oh no, don't do this to me. Don't do that. Like, it was a really cool little like a heads up thing. But the Sontarans were dealt with. I like the idea of using all the enemies against each other to fight the Flux, like trapping everyone. I mean, it plays into everyone's argument of, the 13th Doctor kills people when she wants to, but at some point you've got to, like, the enemies have got to die one way or another for you to save the day, so what are you going to do?
Well, someone just needed to give Carvin Easter a hug.
I think everyone he said someone needs to give Carvin Easter a hug. We'll wait for him to come back from his little laggy phase here.
Hello?
He's coming back. There you are. Did you say give Carvin Easter a hug? Was that what you said?
Yeah, after his entire race was destroyed.
Yeah, bit of a random drop there, and he's just like really upset over it. And it's like,
oh my word! Like, I don't know if they're going to include that line, do something with it. It's kind of like everyone just kind of looked away, be like, oh yeesh, hate to be Carvin Easter right now.
Yeah, hate to be that dog.
Yeah.
That he's really having a dog day, isn't he?
Yeah, he's having dog days are over now. Thank you.
Well, no, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 was in May. Crispy, keep up.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
Okay. Anyway, so that's our review of Flux. No, I don't. Beyond that, I think. By the way, should mention having 3 13th Doctors in the final episode to deal with different problems. I mean, I don't know how different people feel about that, but I thought it was quite clever. It's like it's a good way to deal with all the situations.
I just think it showed that it should have been longer.
Oh, definitely. Like, that is a product of him having so much going on and needing to wrap it up, 100%. But I think it was a good way to try and deal with it rather than
Yeah,
having
no,
Jodie just bounce
is
between
a
place to
solution.
place.
Yeah. I don't know.
Hmm.
I don't know. But overall, Flux is just, it's honestly a roller coaster. It's
It is.
fun. It's got its ups and downs. But my goodness, I would happily go on that roller coaster again.
Well said. Well
Thank
said.
you. Thank you very much.
You get a round of
Thank
applause
you.
from me.
You want
So
a round of
crispy.
applause?
So crispy.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I'm good enough. I can make the noise myself. I'm capable. I'm a capable guy, you know.
That's good.
Okay. We've talked about a lot of Flux today, Crispy.
Oh,
about
absolutely.
a lot of it.
we have.
So having said all that we have said, looking back on your score, he's lagging again, folks. Give us a moment. His score, everyone, he gave Flux an 8 out of 10, he said, roughly. When he comes back, I will ask him if that score remains. Let's see how long it takes him. He's frozen. It's much like the hit 2014 Disney Pixar film. Hopefully his internet does let him go and let him talk. But unfortunately, it seems as though it's a little bit more laggy this time, which is unfortunate. Rather unfortunate. I think he's fully gone, ladies and gentlemen. This is not good. Oh no, hang on. He might be coming back. He might be coming back. I see his hand moving in a very pixelated fashion. Mr. Crispy, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh, it took a second. It took a second. That was a bit of a delay.
Can you hear me?
Bit of a delay. You all right there?
Hello?
Oh, there's still a delay. Oh dear. Oh, ladies
Oh
and
no,
gentlemen.
I've
Oh.
lost you.
You've lost me? I'm going to read the live chat for a second. Volk Smash said he's from Australia. What do you expect from his internet connection? We can't see him pedaling to keep it powered from below that desk. That's very true. Mr. Scarlo said, I rewatched Flux like a month or so ago. Very solid. I'm going to walk right out of here. Very true. I like that. Ivy said she was going to go make a bagel. Okay, well, I hope you enjoy it. Don't throw it at anybody. They might become the spot. Cosmic Jedi said they enjoyed Flux up until Vanquishers. Since then, I haven't rewatched it. My opinions may change. Okay. Oh, Crispy now has his video has disappeared. Well, that's good. That's great. That's very great. We'll see. We'll hopefully see him come back in a moment. I'll keep reading the chat out. Wazza said, as a Scouser, I lost my mind. I'm gonna filter that for expletives. I lost my mind when John Bishop popped up and they filmed in Liverpool. Well, if anyone didn't know, I went on set, and I haven't mentioned that actually. That's another reason Flux is quite special to me. It's the only bit of Doctor Who where I actually saw a bit of them filming it, because I heard on, I think it was the Monday night of whatever week it was they were filming it in 2021, like start of 2021. They were filming at the Albert Dock, and it was the final pickup scenes of Dan being picked up by Jodie and Mandip, being like, you want to come at the end of the Vanquishers. They were filming that bit. So Jodie, Mandip, and John were all at the Liverpool docks. And I was like, they're all there. We should go out. So this mum was like, should we go out? And she was like, we can go out if you want. And I was like, she should be in next couple of days. We can go and see her during the day tomorrow. And we were like, okay. Worst mistake I could have made, because unfortunately, Jodie only was there for that one day of filming. However, I did go out and I saw John Bishop filming the museum sequence from Once Upon a Time, where Di comes out of the museum. He gives her a cup of coffee and they're both walking along the museum, the side of the building. And I saw them filming that. Saw them do like about 6, 7, 8 takes of it. And at one point he came over, met a bunch of us, if you remember. I told a bit of this story. And then I had Jodie's scarf on at the time with Matt Smith's green coat. And he went, is that the official Doctor Who scarf? Said it like that. Not Doctor Who, Doctor Who. Like he's an owl, Doctor Who, Doctor Who, Doctor Who. I'm not funny. I'm really sorry. Look. At this point, folks, we're in a bit of a desperate situation because Crispy, his video is still not showing. I'm going to check if he has texted me, because at this point he may well have done. He has not. Oh dear. Oh, he is. Oh, I think he can hear me, folks, because he has just texted me saying, "Can you hear me?" I can't hear you, fella. Your video is not showing, and I cannot hear you. Oh, you've been sat here listening to me. He's been sat here listening to me read all these chat messages out for all this time, thinking he's been involved in the conversation, and he hasn't been. Oh dear. Try and leave the Riverside room and come back, mate. I think that might fix it, because normally when your video stops showing, yeah, he's gone. Normally when his video stops showing, if he leaves and joins back, that tends to fix it. So, cross your fingers. Anyone else said anything else interesting in the chat? What about Tecteun? Yeah, we didn't talk about Tecteun. That's another interesting point. Crispy, are you there? Can you hear us?
Yeah.
Okay, there we go.
Talk about Tecteun.
We didn't talk about Tecteun. So the idea that the Flux was created by her to wipe the universe out because the Doctor had done too much on her own and done her own thing and not worked for the division, so she was like, well, screw this, we'll get rid of the universe and start again and we'll be more in control. Personally, I really like that. What do you think?
I thought it was cool. I would have liked them to explore it way more.
Well,
But
I mean, we've talked about this before, but people really were not happy that the Timeless Child did not get answered up on. And how many times have I said to you that I just didn't care?
Wait, did somebody say Timeless Child? Baby, 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 you are the Timeless Child, the Timeless Child.
Don't forget to click below to subscribe to the official Doctor.
Who's the channel? Thank you.
I was going to start dancing when the beat drops. Damn it.
Sorry, babe.
Yeah, people have said so many times, oh, I don't like that the what was that, Ivy? Have you not heard? You need to watch our Looking Back on Series 12 episode, and you'll hear it fully. No, a lot of people are like, oh, the Timeless Child should have been answered more up on. I know one person saw saying a lot, this is nothing against him, was William Who. He was constantly tweeting going, we didn't get enough about the Timeless Child. And I saw a lot of people agreeing with his sentiments. That was where I was seeing a lot of the argument. And for me, as I said, the whole point of the Timeless Child was to reopen the doors on the Doctor. It wasn't to answer all the questions. It was to have a bit more mystery to the character. Like, that was the whole point.
Yeah.
And I think there was enough explained and then enough left open that you could build on it with Tetian being like, you were the Doctor for all this time, you worked for us, and then you got your own funny little ideas, so we might wipe your brain and let you go off and play. You played around too much. This universe is a mess now because of what you've done to save it, so we're going to torch it and start in a new one. That's enough for the story. Like, I don't... Maybe it's just me, but I don't need to know more about the Timeless Child. If they want to explain it down the line, if Russell wants to revisit it, I'm very much happy to hear more. But I like that there's just the mysteries there. We don't need to have everything answered.
I like that. I don't know if it's clear that was the intention. I think it could have been cool if they kind of almost directly address the fact that they were not going to touch on it too much, because I felt like, especially bringing up the not confession doll, what do you call it? The pocket watch.
The fob
thing.
watch. Yeah.
It felt like, they put that in the time. It felt like they were building up.
That bit I will defend.
I
will defend the arguments there people made. Like, it was a bit weird that she hid it in the TARDIS. It was like, unless I ask for it, and then never asked for it again. I did kind of expect that to come back up, and I was surprised it didn't. I'm all right with it.
I mean,
but
that's kind of I mean, I'm fine. Like, who cares? I think.
Like, in hindsight, that's Chibnall saying, "I'll leave it. I'll tuck it away in case a future showrunner wants to look at it." But because it wasn't the final episode where she said that, we were thinking it would get followed up on, and it wasn't. Fair enough. Here's a really interesting point. Ivy makes a good point because she's actually read Lungbarrow recently, which was a book, if you remember, that Clever Dick Films, who we had on, said he had an original version of.
One of the best episodes of the podcast.
She said the thing is, it's clear that Chris Chibnall took a leaf out of Lungbarrow and the Cartmel master plan, which also rightfully leave all the interesting new ideas unanswered, so you can explore them but keep the mystery. The Timeless Child presents us with nearly endless realm of possibilities, stories, alternative lives, etc., while not straying too far from what specifically they've lived through. That basically, that explains it. If you don't know, the Cartmel master plan was a thing in the Seventh Doctor's era. Andrew Cartmel, who I think was... Did he take over the show? Was he a lead writer? He was in some kind of executive role.
I don't know.
And I think he planned for... Again, my classic knowledge is still very shaky, but I believe the idea was that they planned for the Doctor to be revealed as one of the founding Time Lords, like Omega, who was like, responsible for the creation of the Time Lords, that kind of thing. So, like, that was where people have seen a connection between that master plan that never got to come to fruition, because obviously Doctor Who then got canned at the end of the 80s, so his plan never saw the light of day. But it was kind of almost like an adaptation of that, some of the key ideas. The Doctor was like responsible for the creation of the Time Lords, but in this case indirectly, because her power was stolen of regeneration. That was the idea.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I just had a crazy idea.
What's your crazy idea, Mr. Crispy?
I think, like a lot of people were annoyed that it didn't lead to anywhere, as we were saying. What could have been cool in the power of the, like, just move that scene that you were saying to the power of the Doctor, and like make it a moment where the Doctor is explaining to Yaz what it is, because I don't think Yaz knows about the fob watch or anything like that.
Yeah, I didn't like that they never talked about that either. That was a bit disappointing.
Because one of the big things in that era was that the Doctor wasn't letting Yaz in on much, and I feel like that could have been a really big moment where the Doctor says everything that's been going on, say, look, I think my lives have been stolen, I don't know who I am, and this will answer everything. And then in that moment, they kind of both come to the conclusion being like, you're fine as you are, and then chuck it in the TARDIS. I think that could have been concluded everything and left the doors wide open for
Yeah.
the mystery that Chibnall wanted.
Or
I
even-
think that would have been a much more satisfying conclusion.
On top of that, you could have saved the chucking down the TARDIS bit, leave that whole conversation as it was, but save the chucking down the TARDIS bit for her regeneration scene, where she flies to Durdle Door, and before she goes outside and says, going to take in one last sunrise, drops the fob watch in there.
Yeah.
You look
Sick.
after this, I'm going to go out and explode for about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
That would have been really good. So I think it was just a positioning issue,
Yeah.
which,
No,
all of us suffer from at one point or another.
Sometimes in our life.
Yeah, like
But yeah,
sometimes my Sonic is over here, sometimes it's over here. So, Crispy, I
Yeah.
think we've talked a lot about Doctor Who Flux. A lot about
Let's
it.
wrap it.
A lot. So, has your score of 8 out of 10 for Doctor Who Flux altered as a result of our conversation?
Oh, it's probably very generous, but look, Flux is fun, but it's.
Who gives a
Flux is
Flux? What are you gonna
comfort
give
for
it?
me. Who gives a Flux? I think it's great. I think it's Jodie's strongest. I think it's Chris's strongest.
Yep.
I think I'd much prefer to rewatch Flux than series 11 and 12, and I enjoy series 11 and 12, so that's saying something.
Yep. Maybe you just don't like Ryan.
You? Look. Anyway,
We haven't played this a
You?
lot, but yeah, no, I don't
Yeah.
hate Ryan. He's just the one companion I'm very apathetic about, so I wasn't unhappy when he was gone. So was your score changed then? Is it still an 8?
No, I'm gonna keep it as an 8. It's a
Okay.
generous 8.
I'm gonna make it 8.5. I'm gonna make it 8.5.
You are crazy.
I know. But I just enjoyed the series so much. I think it was really, really good. And I really liked it as a closer for Jodie's era, even though it wasn't quite the closer.
Yeah.
It was close enough, Like Series
Close
4 is a good closer for the Tennant era. I think Flux is a good closer for the Whittaker era.
Yeah, agreed. Well put.
There you
sir.
go. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think that wraps up episode 79, looking back on Doctor Who Flux.
The Flux.
So we are going to wrap it up
What's
here,
the
ladies and gentlemen.
Flux? Don't care.
I know. All right. We get it. The Flux has layers. We get it, Crispy. We get it.
Yeah.
We get it. You need to have like a laugh track sound effect. That needs to be one thing you add in. Don't tell me you've got one. Oh, okay, that'll do. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all very much for hanging out for episode 79 of Who's There, a Doctor Who podcast, where we looked back on series 13. We looked back on Doctor Who Flux. In, what is it, Crispy? Is it 2 weeks we're going to do the special? Should we give people a heads up so they know what to expect?
In 2 weeks.
No, it's not. It's in 3 weeks. It's in 3 weeks. So it's slightly shorter. This episode, the next episode will come out at the end of October, so it won't be the start of November for our last one. But in 3 episodes' time, episode 82, we will look back on the 60th, not the 60th, the Jodie Whittaker Series 13 specials. And for a brief moment, for one shining moment, as David Tennant might say, we will have looked back on all of modern Doctor Who.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy to
finally
think?
Got here.
We finally got there. Isn't that insane? So,
That's pretty wild.
we're going to wrap up there. Crispy, you got any closing comments?
Just have a good Halloween, everyone.
Trick or
treat.
Right in sync. Beautiful. Mr. Scarl asking about Evil Dan. You may want to listen back to this episode because you'll be pleasantly surprised. So,
Yep.
until next week. Well, actually, for everyone watching on YouTube, don't forget we'll have an episode out tomorrow. It won't be live, but it will be the special episode looking back on season 1 of Ahsoka. If you're listening on audio platforms, it's already come out, and if you haven't listened to it, go and listen to it right now. Go right now. Go. We're not going to say anything else. I'm going to wait until you go and listen to it. Right, ready, go. Have you gone? Okay, I think they've gone now, Crispy. They've gone to listen to it. But for everyone else, thank you very much for listening to episode 79. We will see you all next week. Where, Crispy, shall we tease it, or is it because it's that episode? So
It's not locked off yet, but something huge should be happening.
Something huge should be happening.
huge.
Something crispy huge. Let's say that.
Yeah.
Something crispy
level
huge should be happening, and the podcast will be responding to it. It's not a YouTube drama. Responding to Crispy Pro. Oh no, what did you do? I can't believe that you cheated on a Dalek with a Cyberman.
Don't tell anyone.
Whoops. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you all next week with episode 80 of Who's There, a Doctor Who podcast. But until then, it is goodbye from Crispy.
See ya.
And it's goodbye from me. Goodbye. See you all next week. Alon Z, baby!
Good night, Australia.
Huh? That's our outro.
Wow.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, normally we would stay and do a lot of post-amble from the recording. However, Crispy does need to go to bed at some point. It is already 10:30, and we haven't recorded the Ahsoka episode yet.
Yeah.
So we're going to go and get that done, like, immediately.
What?
Anyone want to put any last bits in the chat?
Ahsoka?
Ahsoka. I hardly know her.
I barely know it.
I knew it. I had a bad feeling you were going to do that. I had a bad feeling. Do you know what I need? I already know what I'm going to do for the thumbnail, though, Crispy.
What?
You'll see. You'll see.
I know what I'm gonna do.
What are you going to do? Paint your face orange?
Nah, I won't do it.
Do what?
I won't do it.
Do what?
Nah,
Do
I'm
what?
saving it for the episode. I'm
Do
saving
what?
it for the episode.
Oh, you better not forget. You better not forget, buddy. You better not.
I won't forget.
All right, never forget. An elephant never forgets, remember, folks. All right, it's very important, that.
No. I think my internet's dying again.
No, you're okay. You're okay, I think, at least on my end. Oh, yeah, we never mentioned Belle and Vinder's child. I never mentioned Belle. I liked Belle.
Her as yet unborn child.
Belle's on my wall. I mean, I didn't even mention I have the Flux decorations on my wall. All character art
She's in
cards.
sex education.
Is she?
Yeah, she's like the other sex therapist at the school, competing with Otis.
Oh, God. Wait, Otis is a sex therapist?
That's the whole point of sex education.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh.
Maybe if you, yeah. Anyway.
Well, that's me spoiled. All right, goodbye. Right, ladies and gentlemen.
Flux?
What's the Flux, donkey? So, we're going to leave it here. Anyone send anything else here? Ivy, really wants to see more of Tecti, and maybe he was wrapping up the storyline knowing his tenure was finishing, but she would have been a cool evil antagonist. Yeah, killing her off was a bit rough.
Potato.
Yeah, potato. Just realised you didn't really get to read any chat stuff out, but that was more because of the internet, wasn't it?
Yes, that was very annoying.
I'm sorry,
But
sir.
I had, no, well, if people are still here, I had my theories confirmed that a lot of people put The Vanquishers as their last or second last favourite episode.
Oh, yeah, we didn't read any of them out. Oh.
That's fine. It's fine.
Very
We got
sad.
it here now.
Yeah, we got it here. It's on YouTube, just for the YouTubers. Like Ivy.
The tubers.
The tubers. The tubers.
The tubers.
Yeah. Well, there you go. I think we should wrap up there, don't you, Crispy?
Let's wrap.
Let's go record Ahsoka. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for being here. Greatly appreciated. As per usual, so yeah, the Ahsoka episode should be out tomorrow, usual time, around the time that this episode went live. So stick around, stay tuned. It'll be a fun little time where we talk about season 1 of Ahsoka. That'll do, Crispy.
Wow.
All right, everyone. See you all later. Crispy is already getting sleepy, so we better get... What are you doing in the background there? Why is it pink?
I changed the background.
Is this for Ahsoka?
No, I just am messing around for fun.
He's always messing around this one. Right, folks, we'll get over there, see if we can film some of Ahsoka before Crispy's camera dies. See you all, see you all tomorrow for the video version of Ahsoka, and after that, episode 80, out next Saturday. Much love. Thank you all for being here. Let's go to the outro sequence, Crispy. Anything you want to say before it goes over?
Allons-y, baby.
Oh, we actually said it now. There you go. Good luck, Crispy.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Mate. Good luck.
Good luck. Bye, everyone. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.